Whenever you're ready.
I'm just supposed to like do this whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, give it a try. Just start off and...
Just like start saying the words?
Yeah. Do you want to be standing right there?
I don't know, am I like in the viewing?
Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Basically from the door
Uh-huh.
to that wall out there,
Okay.
that's your space.
Okay. Oh, I don't like this. This is, okay. Oh, I really don't like this.
Have faith in you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm just gonna wing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. Oh, I already forgot it. Oh, what is that? Okay.
To die, to sleep.
Yep. So I was right. I'm just gonna start over. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in the sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pains of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of unworthy take, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear the ills we have than fly to others we know not of? Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickly o'er with the pale cast of thought and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard the currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. First of all,
Yes.
Great job with memorization.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about the way you moved
Yeah, I
and
don't
the way
know.
you phrased a few things.
Oh, as my phrasing?
What I got was that you had it memorized, but I didn't always get like you were feeling it.
Yeah.
And I have a few specific places I thought we could hit.
Yeah.
But the first things first.
Yeah.
Show me the way you have Hamlet standing.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I just kind of feel like he's talking to himself.
Okay.
So just like kind of like in his element. Like just like, kind of like, I don't know. Like he's like, just like if you're going through a walk and then you're like just walking down like a street and then there's just like trees and you're just like thinking to yourself and you're just like walking. But like you're not like very like, you're not confident in your walk. You're kind of like just kind of moping-ish.
On stage,
Yes.
moving slow reads as being relaxed, generally.
Okay.
Unless you're very tense.
Okay.
moving slow. So what I would suggest, and I mean generally what is suggested, is either be somewhere and be planted, or else be moving very purposefully. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. Pick a line where he might be focusing on something in the room.
Okay.
I mean, really pick one.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so he's thinking this is just my Hamlet. My Hamlet sees sleep right up there. Like that's where he sees sleep.
Okay.
So, blah, 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 to be or not to be, to sleep, perchance to dream. And if you're looking at a certain place, then you can move a little bit slower and still have it be purposeful.
Okay.
But if you're just kind of wandering like this.
Yeah. It's like relaxed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's take it from the beginning to there's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Just read it off the sheet for me once.
Read it off the sheet,
Yeah,
like.
grab a seat and read it
Okay.
to me.
Okay. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them.
Okay. So in that first line, what words stick out to you?
Like the to be or not to be?
Yeah.
Well, the to be.
Sorry, the first sentence. I
Okay.
guess. Up to that question mark.
Okay. To be or not to be. That is, well, question, because it's like the subject.
Question.
I would have to say suffer.
Suffer.
The slings and arrows, outrageous fortune. Like that whole line is kind of like.
Yeah, definitely, but I think you had it when you said outrageous.
Okay.
To me, of all the words, that's the most colorful.
Outrageous, yeah.
Because it's the one you hear the least.
Sea of troubles. By opposing him. I feel like and them should be
Yes,
like stronger.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Take this and mark out
Okay.
the words suggested. Do you want something to write on? Take my copy.
Thank you. So what do we have? We have question, outrageous, end them.
You gave me question, suffer, outrageous, and end them.
Okay. Okay.
So in Shakespearean voice coaching, we call those words operative words,
Okay.
which means that they're the words that are getting the meaning across more than the other.
Okay.
They're the words you want to spend the most time on. And there are 3 ways to bring out an operative word. Change pitch, change volume, or change duration. So that's something, it's something that it's unique to every actor.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I'm gonna emphasize suffer by changing pitch, right?
Okay.
Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Like I moved it higher, and you heard suffer more than anything else.
Yeah.
One thing the operative words do also is they make it clearer the feeling I want to be getting from you as an audience member.
Okay.
Because when you said that just now, I felt like you could have been asking me almost anything,
Yeah.
right? Not that you were asking me, is it better to live or die? So think about for a second how to incorporate those 4 operative words, and then give me this first sentence again.
Oh, okay.
Try and just do it a few different ways.
Yeah.
That's right.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, cool.
In terms of like performance, you wouldn't want to be delivering to your lap.
Well, yeah.
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 Actually, while you were doing that, what I thought would be really cool is if you were delivering down here the whole time, and then end them, you look up. Right?
Yeah.
Like, whether it be nobler in mind.
So like, should I start sitting? Like I can start sitting and then like
Let's give it a try.
start like talking like that and
Yeah.
then look up. Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Do it. Take everything you just did and multiply it by 2.
Okay.
Would Hamlet have his legs crossed?
Probably. Probably not. He'd probably be like this. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Oh, I messed that up.
And when you raise pitch, you're also making it a question, like
Yeah.
the Valley Girl.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them.
oh, I like it. I like it. So then, keep going.
Okay. To die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. Is that 'tis a consummation to be wished?
Yes.
'Tis a consummation. Can't do this.
If you don't remember that, just call line, and then
Oh,
read
okay.
the next few words.
Okay. Okay. Should I start from that part over?
Start at to die to sleep. When you say heartache,
Mm-hmm. So that should be like
I'm not necessarily going to make it an opposite word, but I think it's a good choice.
to die.
But you smush those two syllables together, so
Oh.
is that like heartache?
Okay, so pause it.
Heartache. Make it clearly two syllables.
Okay.
It's a general rule that you want to talk like half as fast
Half as
as you
fast.
think you should be talking.
Okay. This is so much fun.
You say as you look like nervous and upset.
Yeah. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep to say, oh, nope. Oh, no, I was right. Okay. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep to say, we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. Okay.
First of all, I really like it. The thing I liked the most was thousand natural shocks.
Mm-hmm.
You slug that down and you put space between each word. Really nice.
Thank you.
The first three duplets, pairs of words, to die, to sleep, no more. You basically said them like that, like to die, to sleep, no more.
Okay.
Those are three really big concepts.
Yeah.
And when Shakespeare does threes, you always want to change the way each one sounds.
Okay.
Like words, words, words. You don't want to say that, right? How did the David Tennant version didn't have that, did it?
What, did I to sleep?
No, words,
Oh,
words, words.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
Kenneth Branagh does it really goofy. Words, words, words.
Yeah.
Something like that. So think about, and then show me. To die, to sleep, no more. How are you going to do those three
Okay.
differently?
Okay. Am I gonna explain it to you or just say it?
Just say it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can figure it out.
Okay. To die, to sleep, no more.
I like what you did with your face, but I want what you did with your voice to match it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. To die, to sleep, no more. I feel like that's the same thing. Yeah. How am I like supposed to make my voice match that?
When you said to sleep,
Yeah.
I heard to sleep.
Yeah, that one was a little.
So, let's try it this way. Try each of them at a different speed.
Okay. Okay. To die, to sleep, no more.
I like it. I like the differentiation. Do you want no more to be the fastest of the three?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how to convey. It's like, I just want it to be like, no more, it's done. Like, I feel like when you're done, it's like, it's really fast, it's over.
Okay, when you just said it's done,
Yeah.
I felt a much more vehement expression than when you said no more when you were acting.
So do like, no more.
Give it a try.
Okay. To die. To sleep. No?
You went back to your...
I went, to die. To sleep. No more. I feel like...
When you were talking to me,
Yeah.
you did it more expressively.
Because I don't know.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like, you do it naturally.
Yeah.
And then you just stop doing it when you are you're on stage. Like, just keep doing what you do anyway.
No more.
And try delivering those 6 words louder.
Okay.
So, like, take everything you did
Yeah.
and give it to me twice as big.
I just don't like being loud. All right. To die. To sleep. No more. It's the same thing, it was just louder.
Yeah. I heard more difference between the two. So take those 6 words and then move on to, I was thinking to say we end the heartache in 1,000 next steps. The flesh is care and stop there. So let me see you incorporate those 3 doublets into that phrase.
Where am I going up to? And by sleep stay we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks. The flesh is air too.
End it devoutly to be, sorry, yes, air too. Flesh is air too.
Okay. To die. To sleep. No more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks. That flesh is air too.
I'm not sure if you know you're doing this.
Nope.
But you're moving your
Yep,
hands
yep,
forward,
yep,
you're
yep.
pointing your chin
Yep.
every other word.
Yep, I do it all the time. Don't know how to not do that.
So I liked what you did with the doublets,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you said by a sleep to say, you went right back into I'm not, like, I don't want this to end right now.
Yeah.
So have it carry through.
Okay.
You know, I never knew this before. I'm actually going to put this on the board.
Okay.
You know that Shakespearean punctuation actually tells you in a lot of cases what the next bit is supposed to sound like? Right? So period means pause. A comma means go forward with more momentum.
Okay.
Which is the opposite of what we think it is. A colon means the next bit of, the next few words or the next phrase is going to be logic.
This makes so much sense now.
And the semicolon, what do you think that's going to be? If this is logical, what do you think that is?
Forward logic. Go forward faster with logic.
To die, to sleep. It's logical that sleep is
Yeah.
like dying, right?
Yeah.
No more. Is that logical?
Oh, it's negating it.
Not quite.
Oh.
Emotion.
Motion.
You're
Okay.
so it's sort of like the opposite of logical thinking. You're letting your emotional thinking take over.
Okay.
So let's do it. Let's do this as an exercise.
Okay.
Pretend I don't have the script in front of me.
Okay.
And deliver the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines up to devoutly to be wished. And let me hear through your voice where the various punctuation are.
Okay. Logic, motion. So there's no pause until the end. Logic. So this is logic. Okay. Then motion. That's logic. Logic. Motion. Okay. Good project.
or about like body stuff. Let me
Okay.
just hear your voice.
Okay. To be or not to be?
Hold on.
Oh,
Comma. You put a pause there.
yeah.
It's so counterintuitive
I know.
to us 21st century people because commas mean pauses, but here this means like I've got it to this level and now I'm pushing it to the next level. To be or not to be. I mean, that's a little over the top.
Yeah.
But you don't want to feel like you're dropping the ball there. You want to
Yeah.
feel like you're pushing on stronger.
Okay. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished.
That was like night and day in terms of emotive performance.
Yeah.
Did you hear it yourself?
Yeah.
That comma thing is such, it
Yeah.
completely transforms. And I think in a lot of cases, actors, we actors, feel like lots of pauses make it more dramatic
Mm-hmm.
and suspenseful, but a lot of times it just loses all of it.
Yeah.
The one thing, to die, to sleep, that's a semicolon.
Yeah. To die. To die. To sleep. No more. So this should be like, I keep like wanting to laugh when I say no more because I think it's comical. So this has to be like really emotional.
Well, go with it.
Go with laughing?
I mean,
Like it's like sneering. Like,
you could be a hysterical Hamlet or a sneering Hamlet if you want.
okay.
To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation. Consummation.
Oh, am I saying it wrong?
No, you're not. You're saying it right. But what does that word mean?
It's like a prize, right?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Have you heard the phrase consummated marriage?
Oh, it's like it like makes it real.
Makes it real, exactly.
Yeah.
And specifically, you make it real by a sexual act, right? So, I mean, that's a word, it sounds good, like consummation. It feels nice in the mouth, and you can kind of make it feel almost erotic the way you deliver it. Consummation devoutly to be wished. I want this so much.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, I like what we did there. Let's move on. So started to die, to sleep for chance to dream, and go to there's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
Okay. There's
And do this in exercise first. I mean, just read over it once or twice if you
Yeah.
want. But then let's do the punctuation.
Yeah. I was just gonna do that. So emotional. Logic. Emotional. Forward. Logic. To die, to sleep. No, no, I said it just like that. Ugh. To die, to sleep, nah. To die, to sleep.
You don't necessarily need to have it be like
Exactly.
speedier, but you
Yeah.
need to have it feel
To
like.
die, to sleep, to die, to sleep.
Maybe think about it this way instead. The second phrase needs to be a little more intense than the first phrase.
To die.
To die.
To sleep. To sleep. Perchance to dream. There's the, what?
To sleep, for chance to dream.
Sorry.
All right.
To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
You know what you did there that you didn't do when you read through it first?
Whispered?
Well, I mean, yeah, you did that. In that sleep of death, what dreams may come, it's almost a question within this sentence. And the first time you delivered it completely straight, like it's a sentence, but that time you made it a little bit of a question. And I like that a lot.
Okay. Okay. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in a sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
It felt a little bit, let's see, prepackaged.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Look for operative words. Give me a few operative words.
Cool. Obviously, the to die, to sleep, but to sleep more than the to die. To sleep, perchance, maybe? Perchance to dream?
Possibly.
Well, the I is probably a big one.
It's interesting, you're perchance an I. You know, I means like, yeah. Yeah, that's the rub.
Oh.
To me, I is sort of like a place marker, the way we might say, or you know.
Okay.
You know, that's the rub.
There's the rub. Okay, so then rub would be
Yeah.
rub. We're in that sleep of, well, sleep of death is kind of like sleep of death. What dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal wall. I like shuffled.
I like it too. And that's where it comes from, right? Like shuffled off, which we hear every day, almost not every day. But this is where it started.
Oh, this mortal wall must give us pause. Must give us. Should the must give us, like, should that be emphasized?
That's up to you.
Must give us. I don't know. I think that'd be good to emphasize the us, like must give us pause.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't
I'll
know.
be interested to hear how that goes.
Give us pause. There's respect that makes calamity. Calamity is a big one. Of so long life. Long. Right? So long life.
And what do you think you can do if you want long to be an operative word? What do you think you can do to bring
Make it longer.
Yes.
So long life.
So long. I want to go back really quick to the sleep of death, what dreams may come. You had sleep, death, and dreams, or just sleep and death?
For in that sleep of death. Sleep of death. I don't know, I'd probably put the whole, like sleep and then death. Sleep of death. Sleep. I don't know.
Put on your English hat again. And tell me what is an interesting rhetorical device going on in that line.
Well, it's for in that sleep of death. Well, it's like a roundabout way of saying death sleep. Like in death sleep.
Are there any sounds that are repeated?
For in that sleep of death. Well, the F, for and of, and then the that and death, F and they're all kind of like.
Okay, sorry, I'm beating on the bush here. Death
Sorry.
and dreams.
Okay. Oh, death and dreams. Okay, yeah.
That feels like a big one to me.
And death.
Because you're marrying together two.
Dreams. And sleep of death.
Uniting death and dreams makes us start questioning what is the afterlife really? Is it a dream?
Okay, yeah.
So what I would suggest there is make your words death and dreams. You've already hit sleep a number of times.
Yeah.
You don't need to hear it again. So let's see. I have marked here sleep, to die to sleep. So I want to hear sleep, rub, death dreams, shuffle. You're thinking us, calamity, and so what? All right, let's hear it.
To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's a respect that makes calamity of so long life.
I like that a lot.
Oh,
I like that. I like the so long life. I liked the sort of the there's the rub. I like that because Hamlet, your Hamlet isn't quite as mopey as a lot of Hamlets are.
no,
here.
mine's like really cynical, kind of in a
Your
way.
Hamlet can make fun of him or herself.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was one thing that really struck me as weird. Pause. Must give us pause.
Mm-hmm.
You went up there. And
Okay, yeah.
Like a Valley Grove thing.
Okay. Let me shuffle off this more quick. Must give us pause. Yeah. Okay. Must give us pause.
And I'm not liking to die to sleep.
Yeah.
So try something completely different.
I could yell it.
Try it.
To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in the sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, and must give us pause. There's a respect that makes calamity of so long life.
I kind of liked it up at first, and then...
Yeah, and then kind of went downhill, yeah.
Although, if you think that's yelling, then...
That's a little yelling. To die, to sleep, to sleep. Okay.
All right, let's come back to that.
Okay.
Who would bear,
Let's go.
to bear bodkin?
Okay.
That's bodkin, by the way, not bodkin.
Oh, my bad. Bodkin. Look at that bodkin. Okay. You want me to just say it once over?
Yeah.
After, like...
Just get it back in your mind.
Yeah. Okay. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pains of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin?
In those last two lines, what are you talking about?
When he himself might his quietus, like committing suicide. It's
Right.
like stabbing yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little more powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't sound like you just
No.
said when he might commit suicide instead of dealing with all this shit.
Yeah.
So, one of the things people, like any text course is going to tell you when you do Shakespeare is look for lists and learn to love lists. And when you do lists, because Shakespeare has lists everywhere, you've got to differentiate each bit that's separated by the commas. So what you did sounded to me a lot like you kind of picked one rhythm and stuck with it forever.
Yeah.
So that's something that's worth changing up a little bit. And the problem with this list, I can see why they cut it, frankly, in the David Tennant version, is because they're saying the same thing over and over. So let's take it one more time, and give me something a little more suicidal when you're talking about suicide.
Should it be like my crazy Hamlet, like laughing a little bit maniacally? Because.
See how it feels.
Okay.
When you get there, see how it feels.
Okay. I don't know. I definitely feel like he would laugh at the thought. I don't know. It's
Okay,
kind of weird.
go with
Okay.
it.
For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pains of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin?
I kind of like that. You've got to be a little more confident.
Yeah.
Like, because it sounded almost like you were forgetting the words.
Yeah.
At the end.
Okay.
Bodkin, not bodkin.
I keep thinking like bodkin. Oh, bodkin. 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 Bodkin.
Like,
Bodkin.
that's a hot bod.
Okay. Bodkin.
And I think it's contumely.
Contumely?
You're saying contumely. I think it's contumely.
Contumely.
If you take out the stresses, like do that in it, that line and emphasize the ions.
Wrong. The proud man's contumely. Yeah, you're right.
The oppressor. Let me hear you do it out loud.
The oppressor's wrong. The proud man's contumely. Yeah.
The other thing, 2 lines down.
Yes.
I think, where's the 3? The patient merit of the unworthy takes. The patient merit of the unworthy takes.
Oh, okay.
You're leaving out of
The-
I think.
The patient merit of. Yeah, I'm definitely leaving out the.
Is that not in?
When I learned it, it wasn't from this book, so it could have been like the other copy.
Yeah. And this book that has it the way I would do it with the parentheses done with.
Yeah. Unworthy takes.
Okay. Give me this bit one more time.
Okay.
And I like where you're going with the bear bodkin.
Okay.
With the
Bear bodkin. Bear bodkin. Okay. For who would bear the whips? I don't like that. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pains of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the worthy takes, when he himself might his coitus make with a bare bodkin. I hate myself. That was awful too. But yeah.
You kind of ran out of steam at the end.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
That's my least favorite part of this soliloquy.
Yeah.
Who would Bartles bear to fly to others that we know not of?
Okay. Fly to others we know not of. Okay. Who would Bartles bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of?
What do you think?
Was it decent?
Yes, there are a lot of things I liked about it. One thing I noticed is that when you start, your first 2 lines are in like active voice.
Yeah.
And then you slip into something more natural.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for example, in the last bit, I heard, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time? Like, it felt very much like you were Sir Lawrence Olivier.
Yeah.
And then your Hamlet kind of like, he giggles when he's thinking about stabbing himself with a bodkin.
Bodkin.
And if you can get that from the beginning, then I think that'll make it much more coherent. I thought the giggling was a little much.
Okay, yeah.
So let's see. What are some words that you want to operate on here?
Bartles bear to grunt and sweat under the dread of. Well, dread and death are probably some nice alliterations I should stress. No?
I said, I'm not actually sure I want to do that there. Here's the thing. If you've emphasized it once,
don't do it again.
Yeah. It again, unless it's in a totally different context.
Okay. The undiscovered. I like undiscovered country. From whose born no traveler. No traveler returns. Puzzles, maybe. Makes us rather ills. I always stress ills. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not.
There's no supposed to.
Okay. Well, I stress ills. We have them fly and probably fly to others we know not of.
So, fly? Do you think so?
I don't know.
What is he saying there?
Okay, so he doesn't want to fly. Well, we're not flying, like,
It's
pretty much, like, not.
what I get from that line is that the flying is just a way of getting to something, but it's the destination that he's scared of.
Okay. So we know not of.
Give me a summary. From who would fardels bear to fly to others that we know not of. If you were going to ask me this today, what would you be asking me?
Would you rather like live and like live with the pains of living, or just commit suicide and possibly go somewhere you don't know anything about?
Getting closer, but not quite. You asked me, would I rather?
Oh, okay.
There's somebody. Who would fardels bear? To grunt and sweat under a weary life. He's not saying, would you rather be happy or be sad? He's saying, given that life sucks,
Okay.
what's the only reason you don't kill yourself?
That you don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Save that the only thing scarier than living might be what comes after living.
Okay.
Let's hear that. Like, one of the problems of doing this is that you end up thinking yourself right out of actually, being. So, give that to me again. Who would fardels bear to apply to others that we know not of?
Okay. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of?
That's a tough one. I'm not really. It's 3:25, so we're gonna have to wrap up pretty quickly.
Okay.
I'm feeling like it's getting kind of samey. Like your delivery, it felt like you were basically hitting the same note over and over again. Let's see. I want to do something like get up and move around to end this out. One thing we had to do when I was with Delaware Shakespeare Festival, this is ridiculous. What the creative director, David Stradley, he talked a lot about making Shakespeare physical. So one of the things he had us do was lie down on the ground and roll one way until we got to a part where it felt like we were done and we needed to start rolling the other way, right? So it's like, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer, and really, he had us do that for like the entire, an entire speech. So I won't make you do that.
Thank you.
And let's see, what were other things you made us do? You made us pick specific words and like put a specific action with them. So, like to be or not to be. That is the question, or something like that. So, and he said it helped him with memorization. Personally, I thought it was a little silly. But it's just getting it in your body as well as in your mouth. So, let me see you get up and give me up to Calamity of So Long Life. Okay. I'm going to take your script away.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Shake it out. Forget everything I just told you.
Okay.
And just wing it. Do what feels right at the time.
Okay. 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 I keep going like that. It's probably not good. I don't know how I want to start.
Did you like starting in the chair?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. But I want to see you get up.
Okay, I will. Okay. be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them? Line to
To die.
Oh, okay.
To die, to sleep, no more.
I'm gonna start over then. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them? To die, to sleep. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep to say, and the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream? Aye, there's the rub. For in the sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, it must give us pause. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pains of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of unworthy take, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin?
Who would Fartles bear?
Who would Fartles bear to
Scream that. Who would Fartles bear? Who would take all this shit?
Who would Fartles bear to grunt and sweat under? No.
That's right.
Oh, did I mess up the lines before then?
No. You
For who would bear the whips and
right.
scorns of time? Oh, okay. For who would Fartles bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear the ills we have than fly to others we know not of? This conscience does make cowards of us all, and
Be disgusted.
thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, the currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Very nice.
Thank you.
As soon as you stood up, the energy just went way up. One last thing, and this is just a language comprehension thing. Is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and then these next two lines are one thought. And enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry.
Okay.
Right? Because what's happening, the currents of the enterprises are turning awry.
Okay, yeah.
And you put a huge pause there.
Yeah, I connected it because when I memorized it, I
Yeah.
got those two confused. Yeah.
Great. So take it back.
It was so much fun.
Well, I mean, if you look at that performance and then
Yeah.
look at what you did to start out,
Yeah.
you'll see a huge difference.
Oh, I'm sure.